So the last topic came from Pete Warbis.
Yeah, yeah, good friend of the show, Pete Warbis.
I need my phone for this one, and I'm sorry I'm going on my phone, but there is a reason.
Okay. He's going to do a selfie, that's the reason.
I'm going to do one on this podcast and upload it.
So yeah, so our good friend of the show, Pete Warbis, is such. Are you doing
Come here.
No, I don't want to be in a selfie.
No, yeah, you do. You're bad at look at that picture. This is why it's all. See, you want to look. You're interested.
I look like some sort of pauper, like clamouring for some sort of.
We're putting that on Twitter.
I mean,
that's awful.
If you want,
my teeth look yellow. Oh, my phone just died. Oh no, it didn't.
It saved it. Anyway, so what was we talking about? Pete Warbis, beautiful man.
Yeah, he's a beautiful man.
He is a good looking.
He's got a beautiful voice.
Oh, he has such a
delicate
You can
voice.
hear him on podcast episode 100.
Alongside all our other listeners and Colin Moriarty.
Yeah, so just go on
all our
iTunes. Everyone. It's a big lie.
It's a 12-year podcast.
So get on there and let us know. That's going to play loud. I'm not sure what you're doing there.
No, it's not. No.
Okay. All right. That's just strange.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why I'm doing this. You just explain this.
Right, okay. So Pete Warbis, we asked him for something for a Gabe and Abel happy hour topic.
Yeah.
And he said he wanted us to talk about politics.
Yeah.
Which we're not in any way educated in that topic, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. And when I asked for something more specific, he said the 2015 general election.
Elections, yeah.
Okay, so basically, if you're abroad in the beautiful world, then everyone's got a government seat, you know what I mean? But there's the election this year to say who's going to be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
And his team.
The United States of England.
Yeah. And his kind of group, his team, and also
his team.
The different people that control.
His friends. We're going to vote who's going to have a little picnic with.
You have the local election as well, don't you? As well, which is kind of like where
Is that the same time? I thought that was...
No, it's...
That had happened last year, 2014.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
So, again, I'm not hugely educated on politics.
Neither am I. I'm not at all. I would like to be.
So any negative comments...
Okay.
Well, you can post them if you want.
You can put... I ain't bothered, yeah. Right, the thing what...
It was just a disclaimer. This was our little star.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom it says... Do not listen to us.
Yeah. So the political word of this and Gabe do not mirror the political words of
any
Nintendo
other human
Sushi.
being.
Yeah. So what I did was I normally vote Labour in elections. Okay. I've always
the babies.
Yeah. No. Because generally
you like birth canals.
Because generally, traditionally speaking, now this is where it's changed, but traditionally speaking, it's very much about the working man as much as possible. I think with elections, you're always voting for the lesser evil. I'm not a great fan of how governments are actually run, but I always think that you should vote because you can at least pick the lesser of all the evils. And so I normally vote Labour. But I don't usually look too much into their policies because I always think that's just what I've always done. And I think a lot of people will admit that that's what they do. They get used to this party and they look through it. But so I
think most people, how true this is or not, each party has some sort of stereotypical thought
stigma surrounding them. Yeah.
And the rich vote for the Conservatives, the poor people vote for Labour, and I don't know if you can't make your mind up,
Lib Dems are sort of in the middle, yeah. So I went on the Labour website just to have a look kind of at their policies and stuff, because I thought I'll have a look.
I saw you logging in. Did you just start an account?
Yeah, no, it just asks you stuff. And it really annoyed me, because it did this questionnaire, and a lot of the questions I was like, it was very set questions, so I'll go through like the first one for you. So it says, what issue do you think is the most...
Can we do this now?
Yeah,
Can we do
we'll do it now.
Sushi
Yeah, let's
one?
do it. Labour questionnaire.
Live questionnaire.
So what issue do you think is the most important facing Britain? The cost of living, crime, education, Education. Education.
Education, the protein that you derive from milk.
Housing, immigration, jobs, NHS, social security. Now, how can you say, in my opinion, how can you say that one of them is more important than anything else?
Yeah, well, it's like, what do you think's the most? Okay.
But I think what? So, cost...
If there has to be a list, then which one?
Why are we... It just annoys me that it's forcing me to pick something over something else, because to me, that's all of equal importance. I know it stresses me out. You'll see later on it stressed me out as well, but to me, all them things are of equal importance, and whichever one I'd choose then would be arbitrary, because it's just like, well, that one then. But they're all very important. I'd not say that any of them are less important than any of the others.
Right, so let's go. Right, so cost of living. Of course, it's important.
We pay a lot in England, especially.
Crime that's perpetually a problem. I don't think it's as bad as it has been. So we'll not let it.
Well, crime's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah,
I think
it's all in the cloud now.
Yeah, it's true.
It's with them selfie tits
taking down the PlayStation Network. And
education.
Education is extremely
housing.
important. We both have worked in education.
Very, very important. Immigration, which I feel like most people are going to be ticking that list wrongly, and I'll tell you why.
I think immigration is an issue in terms of how people view immigration, but that's not what they're asking us.
Yeah, I agree.
Jobs. Well, we all need jobs.
NHS. I'd go for NHS just because of what's happening at the moment is all of the different policies. I think there is only maybe Labour. Again, I'm not very educated on this, but there's only maybe Labour who've guaranteed to not sell off the NHS to different private companies.
Split it up.
They're trying to privatise the NHS.
Yeah.
A lot of the other ones, and basically that means selling off different things, like maybe lung operations to Johnny Lung in the lung parade.
But the way you're saying it is kind of like it's an auction. It's like,
it is. Yeah. No. That's exactly how it is.
And we've got lungs going, once going, twice going, that's sold.
That's exactly how it is, and that's what's scary
crazy.
About it, because the government are just going to sell this off to the lesser bidders. Which a lot of that time, because there was some sort of like third party element to it, and they wouldn't have to be as qualified as what NHS doctors and things are, and that's very scary.
Sure, the
Plus,
NHS
the fact of privatising it all.
Yeah,
there's potential with a couple of the parties now that we're going to have to pay for health,
and that's surely one of the things that we're very, very privileged to have in our country. Is that even though it's through the tax system. I do think we get a pretty good deal when it comes to NHS.
It's good. At the end, we should do everything within our power to save the NHS.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
So we'll go for NHS then. The other one's social security. Now that's something that is important, but it's not something that I consider something.
What is social security? Is that like terrorism?
I think, I suppose, but then are we then funding wars that we don't want to happen? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it social security, or is it also abroad? Is it also like, sending troops abroad for whatever, what is security and what is what's defense and what's offense?
I don't know. Pick NHS.
But what annoys me is that you have to pick one.
And I did.
Please, before continuing. Okay, what's the next one?
The biggest problem with this year's election is the what they're called. Not BNP, what they called, but basically that. Nigel Farage is UKIP.
UKIP, yeah. UKIP.
That's the main issue. I mean, he's a scary man, and he's basically just going on the whole notion of immigrants are the things causing it, because that's what the newspapers have been telling everybody.
Well,
people only know what they're told.
It's a scapegoat thing.
It's not fair. Like. It's not fair to call people stupid because they're uneducated.
No.
You know what you're told. Like, we could eventually be told, hey, the whole space don't exist. Yeah. You live on this magical little dust, and if that's the real truth, that's the real truth.
So essentially,
it makes sense to us now. Yeah, hot and here's a who.
Yeah.
There we go. So that whole thing could be possible.
Yeah.
We only know what we're told. But anyway, it's probably not. So the whole... immigration being an issue. I think in the top 10 earners of it was something like 7 or something were immigrants, because people saying they're not bringing any money into our country, they're just sapping our resources and everything like that. And that's not the case at all.
No.
If you look at the actual statistics, not the bullshit stuff that they put in the paper, then with people who are obviously financially beneficial, going back to the NHS problem as well, I think it's something like 80% of people who are in that top tier of governmency benefit significantly financially from the privatisation of the NHS.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Next one.
So what was I talking about? The whole immigration thing.
The whole immigration thing, sorry, yeah.
If you look at it on paper, they're actually helping our economy. Really fucking helping our economy. And yeah, if you give a bad name, but there's how many like just British born people are just sort of wanting everything.
And what the fuck is Britain? We're all immigrants. I'm sorry, but
what's anything?
There's a very, very small. That's true, but a very, very small percentage.
Means I was like, what's any country?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what's any? We're all a melting pot. Like
it's a piece of debt.
Yeah.
Like and I feel like immigration's like it's not the issue thing, but because everyone's fear because they're stealing our jobs, they're doing this, they're doing that. They're not. All right, this is just bullshit. But the fact everyone's scared about that because that's what they're being fed on the news and in the newspapers. Then Nigel Farage has come and he's been like, look, we're gonna get rid of all the immigrants, get rid of them, and they've got ridiculous immigration policies. But that's not the issue. The issue is like. Look at every other policy he's got, and he's a terrifying man. Do not let him get in power.
Yeah, it's true. Well, one thing that really annoyed me that I saw on Facebook yesterday was this joke that was sent on Facebook, and it said bungee jumps £35 each, Muslims go free, no strings attached. That really annoyed me.
I didn't get that.
As in no strings attached, as in...
I understand that, but what did it mean?
As in they want Muslim people to die, essentially. That was supposed to be
like
joke.
an advert at a bungee jump.
Yeah, like an advert.
I was thinking more like the whole...
no.
Barclaycard thing or whatever. It was like...
Yeah, so sorry, like an advertisement.
Something
like
else
a bungee jumping. Yeah. And it really annoyed me. Because in terms of that, I can't remember the guy who I watched an interview with, but he was saying like
it was on this
because
channel.
There's
it was opening a 3DS.
Just because there are Muslim terrorists, it doesn't mean that Muslims are terrorists.
Islam's a very peaceful.
It's very peaceful faith. Yeah, and it's the same as like what? So because the Ku Klux Klan are Christian, does that mean all Christians are Ku Klux Klan?
There's that other thing that the good people are putting out there on the internet, which it's like, a Muslim kills someone, a terrorist. A black person kills someone, someone else like terrorist or something like that. White person kills someone. No. The Muslim kills someone, the full race of terrorists. Black person kills someone, the full race of like murderers and gangsters. White person kills someone, he's an intact individual.
Exactly, and that's a very true thing. And a lot of the Muslim countries are very peaceful countries. Places like Turkey and places like that kind of, and they've got very good, like people say about their views on women. Turkey's got a lot of women in government. Turkey's very pro women. So I think it's not the religion that's the issue. It's certain people within that religion, the same as within Christianity. These nutters in all religions. You know what I mean? Like
if you take the pure scripture, the Bible is a lot more brutal and wrong compared to the Quran and the teachings of Islam.
So anyway, the next one. We're keen to hear how this government has impacted your community. Now, this is one that made me laugh. Thinking back over the last year or so, have you noticed any of the following in your local area?
Owls.
Citizens Advice Centres closing. Answer these, by the way. Have you noticed any of this?
No.
Empty high street shops.
In what?
In your local area. So in Hull, let's say.
Yeah, significantly.
Empty high street shops.
Yeah.
How did you see your GP?
I agree, yeah.
New betting or pawn shops. I don't think
pawn being like that being like charity shops and everything, yeah.
Pubs closing down.
Yeah.
Reduction in local council services.
Yeah.
Show Start Centre closing.
Sure Start. That's the whole when you've just had a child and
yeah. I don't think there has been. It's not been something that I've heard of.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I can't comment on that.
Threats to NHS.
Yeah, definitely within the last couple of weeks.
Okay. Now, what makes me laugh is that again, it's very. That's the problem with the questionnaire. Is to me, it's very restrictive as to what it's channeling you down certain routes. What about this other thing that I've noticed that you're not going to let me...
The whole news, the whole everything, that's what they do.
That's what stresses me out.
People like a certain story, to tell people a certain storyline because they benefit financially from it.
I like this one. Please complete this sentence. Labour would definitely have my vote if... Can we put something funny?
If they all wore Nintendo Sushi t-shirts.
Oh, if they put Nintendo Sushi in government. I'm putting that.
Yeah. Hopefully that'll be there next.
If enough people do it.
Not because I, one, don't want to be in government. Two, don't want to vote for Labour.
Why do you vote for?
I don't vote for anyone.
For what reason?
Because there is no change.
Yeah, but to me, you've got to pick the lesser of all the evils.
No, because there is no lesser of all the evils. I don't think. What?
Yeah, put that. Okay. If you put Nintendo Sushi in government.
Every government, the United States government, our government, every big government is just run by international companies.
Yeah.
The people who are lobbying, the lobbyists, and that are piling these monies into these governments because they benefit financially. They're killing the planet. They're killing everything. They're destroying us. There's plenty of money out there. We're told there's no money. There's plenty. There's money. There is money.
Yeah, but it's in the top 1%
and exactly.
of the population.
It's something like the top 3% of people in Britain earn more money than the 97% all added together.
Yeah.
Scary thought. And there's all these kind of like things where it's these big companies that earn it. They're the ones putting money in, and there keeps being new laws, and that TTIP thing is another one of these where they're trying to get like anonymous donors, big humongous ones. I think there's a fact which I may be wrong on because I'm not very big on American politics, but I think I've read somewhere that there hasn't been a single time in history that the party that won became the president and not put the most amount of cash into their campaign.
I've heard a thing. Yeah,
into their campaign.
It's
never happened.
And the amount of money that goes into that campaign could solve some
like
poverty.
And recently they've been finding ways around disguising who's putting money into those things. And the people who are putting money into those things, the businesses who want, it's all these things like happening. If you read a great book by Russell Brand called Revolution, I recommend you read it too. I know you've not read it.
Yeah.
Read Revolution by Russell Brand. Great book. I know he's a comedian, but he speaks. He's got a good head on him.
He does have a good. I'm a bit funny with Russell Brand there.
He's trying to make things better for the average man.
He is.
No doubt about it.
There's just certain ways that he goes about it, and I'm like, you're just kind of giving it a bad name sometimes. Like the stuff. There's a lot of shots of him like, oh, let's see if I can walk into this place and get thrown out. Well, what was your aim when you walked in there? You knew you was going to get chucked out.
No. There's two times of that happening. One was when he was trying to interview the banks in England, which was about 2 months ago. The other one was when he had an appointment. He had an appointment to get into New York, to this place in New York.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let him in. And they were saying he couldn't do this, couldn't do that, and he had like appointments and everything to be there and everything like that, and they were just being assholes to him.
Well, the first one, the bank one though, is one that I've watched.
The bank one was only a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's the one where he goes in, he doesn't have any kind of appointment or anything, and he walks in.
He's trying to talk to.
And he's trying.
It's part of some thing that he was doing for someone else, some program that he was recording. For
and I feel like that was like one of those things where it's like, well.
He was doing, it was like a documentary that he's doing for somebody else.
Yeah.
Where they're talking about the financial bank crisis that happened and all of the money that the banks are stealing and the banker bonuses and everything.
But he had the right motives behind it. I just think that the way that kind of looked, to the outside public as like, oh, he's just an idiot. Like, and I felt that, like, as much as I am a big fan of what he does,
but at the same time, it also showed that they all had really bad things to hide. All he did was walk into a building. At the point when when the thingy happened, he just walked into the building.
Yeah.
He didn't even say he wanted to interview. Yeah. That's what happened. And all the security team thingy, and that's when he made an issue.
Yeah.
When all these security guards were dragging him around, chucking him out for walking in a building.
Yeah.
That anyone can walk in.
Yeah, it's true. I just wish that I'm all for kind of what he's doing. I just kind of, I don't know, like some of the things you see. Like I watch a lot of the YouTube stuff. I watch a lot of the true stuff that he does. Really like what he says. But then some of the stuff that you see, you're like, oh, but I like what you're doing, but it doesn't look that way to a lot of the people. You know what I mean? Like. And I know that that's not what matters. That you know you want to appeal to.
Same thing happened with Martin Luther King and things like that, though. Like all the protests and stuff he was doing at the time, everyone was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Let's just get away." That's bad. I'm not comparing.
No,
them things.
I don't think he'd even compare himself
Gandhi and stuff. All the things he was. You know what I'm saying?
It's true. I just wish that a lot of the I think there's different ways of going about some of the stuff that he does, and I think it would be more. Unfortunately, it's one of them things of it'd be nice to break out of the system, but unfortunately you're in that system, so you need to fight it from the inside first before you can start doing that stuff. Otherwise, it's very, very easy for people to go, for the government to go, he's an idiot, don't listen to him, and we'll listen. But if it's...
No, they've tried it multiple times with the Sun newspaper and his truths and everything else is just getting bigger, and his sales with the books just getting bigger. I think the people are now getting opened up to what's actually happening.
Well, the internet's done that
with these businesses, and it's terrifying to the government. So they're just on lockdown, trying to like do everything they can to sort of keep that power. And it's Rupert Murdoch, who owns like pretty much every newspaper, and it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. But the TTIP thing is something I wanted to sort of glance on a little bit. So the TTIP's some sort of policy that the government are trying to pass. I think at the moment you can go and they've got millions of signatures against this thing, mine included, and basically it's a multifaceted issue. And the one thing that's bad for it is the fact that the NHS will be privatised basically to I think US companies are just going to sell it all out to them, like fine, legally, and do what they want with it. And to like European countries that are lesser sort of like educated and everything like that. So that's one major issue. Another one was something to do with there was loads of different issues, loads of really like a lot of really bad issues, and you should go and just type TTIP into Google. But one that was sort of a really scary one is the fact that businesses are able to sue governments and countries for not letting them have stuff. So where this is the thing is, this has happened once before, I believe, in maybe Ecuador or something like that, and it was I think it was a fuel company or something like that. They wanted to dig into Ecuador and take all their oil and everything like that. And Ecuador were like, well, no, it's going to literally ruin. It was going to like destroy cities, and it was going to actually like ruin the country and loads of things like that. And they were like, oh no. So the business sued Ecuador for something crazy. It was like something like half of Ecuador's full income for a year. You know what I mean? Like it was that amount or something like that. My facts and figures are probably wrong, but you should look this stuff up. And that's a legal thing. So all these huge businesses that are sort of destroying our planet, doing all this fracking, all just awful stuff to our planet that shouldn't be done, they're giving them the power and just saying they can do whatever they want. Go wild. They can sue a government for not letting you steal their minerals. It's fucking bullshit.
It is. It's been another one of those podcasts where it's gone quite a political.
Well, it was the angle. So who am I voting for? No one. Who are you voting for?
I'll still always vote Labour. I'd love to vote someone like Greenpeace, but I think it's a wasted vote. Not even in a bad way, but they're not going to get the backing. So you need
there's still stuff with that where it's still not totally.
I know, yeah.
I think.
And I think it's one of them things
called that's sort of running,
I can't remember
her name.
But I think
she seems to have the best heart in government.
But then I feel that their angle is so it's so one-dimensional. That's what they want. That kind of there's other aspects.
Basically, we need to save the planet. We're killing it. It's going to be destroyed soon. It's fucked up already.
We can't play. Although I love the games.
Exactly. So that was Gabe and Abel's.
That was Gabe and Abel.
Happy hour. It was more than an hour.
Ain't one that happy.
No. No.
To be honest.
So if you want your topic sort of addressed on the show, let us know. Either tweet it to @Nintendo Sushi and follow us while you're there, or send it to hello@nintendosushi.com. So what can they do to kind of get this stuff early? Extra stuff.
So the Cooper Club, I'll go through it one more time really quickly. $1 a month.
$1 a month
gets you the audio podcast early. $5 a month gets you the audio podcast early, the video podcast early, and it gets you an extra podcast that we only record for the people who are $5 and up, our subscribers. $20 a month gets you all them things: the early audio, the early video, the extra podcast, and it gets you a 20-minute Skype conversation with us two every month. And the final one is the $35 one, which will get you some Nintendo Sushi merchandise sent to your door every month, which are hat, t-shirts, mugs, all sorts, stuff like that, every month, and stuff like that. It'll also get you, by the way, check out the shop and see the kind of things that you can get. It'll also get you the Skype conversation, 20-minute one. It'll also get you the extra podcast,
everything
the
else.
Early video, the early audio.
Right, so again, we know nothing about politics.
No, we don't.
Anything we said. I mean,
this is opinion.
Don't even get a pinch of salt.
No.
Don't even dirty the salt pot.
No.
We're not worth it.
No, we're not worthy.
Keep it.
We're not worthy.
Keep it groovy.
In the streets.
Keep it in the streets.
Keep it in the streets. That's where we need to do our politics. Street politics.
Street politics.
I'm going to run for government with my street politics.
Street politics.
Everything
Sushi
will just
style.
be street.
We can
plug
it in and record things.
It's not my underwear. I am going to complain though, because that lingerie ain't come yet.
I'm going to complain because you're taking ages. And it's probably not even in shot what you're doing right now.
Okay. Well, here we go.
Right, yeah, you do the ad shit. I want to do the glory.